What is going on, everyone out there in our Cats Chat world? We're excited to be back live with you for another episode. Of course, it is sad that the basketball season, for the men's at least, is over, but we will get into some conversations with that. But, of course, before we jump in, guys, we always say, hey, how you doing? You know, everything great. But I don't know if you noticed this thing up here in our top right corner. So today we are actually streaming live with our local radio station, WTUK, on their Facebook page. So if you guys wouldn't care, if you do, send a comment, as David Enoch already has on here talking about it's not a bad year for us. Go to their Facebook page, at least put a like on there, and also give us a comment and let us know that you're in the WTUK Facebook page. We're excited about this opportunity, and we'll see how this goes. But now that I said that, Mark, how are you doing today?
Man, doing pretty good. Had a busy day today. Had parent-teacher conferences after school, so that's always fun. But it's going to be a busy week. Going to start calling some baseball this week with WTUK. I think we're actually calling the All-A championship game tomorrow evening at Harlan, so that should be fun. So
okay,
a lot of exciting things going on. It's getting ready to turn into a busy time of year. A lot of DJing coming up.
Oh, I understand that. As far as myself, of course, baseball has started for my son, Katie. My youngest is actually playing softball. So we're ran all over the place already. Bad news is Micah had to go to the doctor today because his elbow was hurting him so bad from throwing. Of course, I know young kids, soreness, all that stuff, but the way he was complaining, I was just like, you know what? My dad radar was going off, and started doing some research, and there's a thing called Little League elbow I had never heard about. But
I've heard of tennis elbow.
Well, this is between 9-year-olds and 15-year-olds usually get this, and it's from overthrowing so much, constantly no rest. And what happens, the tendon in your elbow gets so inflamed and stretched and gets tense that actually, where they're younger still, their growth plates haven't closed off, and it kind of rubs in and irritates that if gone so long, it actually can cause a fracture. So we went to the doctor, and that's actually – they took him down to Tennessee, and they actually did say he has Little League elbow. And so he is shut down for 2 weeks now as a 9-year-old. Already got one on the aisle. So he's, of course, at church tonight, they were trying to play volleyball, and here he is in a sling. He said, Dad, can I at least play? I was like, just use your left hand, man. Just try that. And, of course, he plays the box for our youth group during praise and worship. And he's like, Dad, I want to play on the box. And just use one hand. So he pushed through and did it with one hand. So
it's hard to keep a kid settled in.
Yes, absolutely. And
so how's your day been? Other than having to go.
Other than that, I had to work today. I'm excited more about tomorrow. I'm usually off on Wednesday, but I had to take a special day for tomorrow, so I work today. Because speaking to Katie, my youngest one, me and her, we will be going to the zoo in Knoxville with her school. So a daddy-daughter dance date with the school. So get to see otters. I'm sorry, but otters are the coolest animals in the world. Mark, what is your favorite animal?
A wildcat.
Hey, is that, because
there you go, wildcat.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll go with that. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and jump into, of course, the Sweet 16 is now going on for the NCAA tournament. Kentucky just fell short. Well, yep. Do we really want to say just fell short? Because it was definitely, as you can basically call them all year, Heckle and Jide here. Or Jide? Wow, I totally messed that up. Jekyll and Hyde. Threw them around like that. Dear. Kentucky in the first half, what were we up? 18-8, I think it was, jumped out. Looked like it was going to be a great game for us. And then the next thing I know, before it was at halftime, we'd lost the lead, I think, by 1. Within like 5 minutes into the second half, we were down by like 15. And then it wasn't a matter of time.
Like a complete falling apart, kind of. And that's the best way I can explain it. Just the wheels fell off. We were played amazing in that first 8 minutes of the game. The first 8 minutes of the game, we were sharing the ball, we were getting to the hoop, passing to the open man. It looked amazing, but it's like we forgot what we were doing for the rest of the game, and it just kind of got ugly from there. And like it wasn't just one person; it was like collectively. It was different. I don't even know how to. I guess an internal collapse is what you would call it.
Yeah, pretty much. Johnny, of course, as always, man, we appreciate you getting on here, chit-chatting with us. Of course, he says he is in Twitter jail for some reason, so he can't keep up with Kentucky sports and everything like he tries to do. But, guys, right now, we already got over 20 people live with us right now. Most of you all are on the WTUK page, so it's awesome that you guys are tuning in. If you don't care, give us a comment in this so we know where you all are from. Of course, it's WTUK, which is local, but we also know how far the 105.1 radio station reaches people. And we just like to know where you guys are coming from, where you're listening at.
And this is one of those shows where we need your help. Like, we want your questions, we want your input. That's what it's all about, is just fans coming together and talking about things. Because I mean, it's been interesting, especially since the game ended.
So much has been going on. I'm going to say I'm calling you out. Shared something on, I think it was Facebook, of all these accounts that's going on. And, of course, it says that one of them, I think it was Kentucky Hoops or something like that, that usually sends fake news out that you would share. And you also put on there that you didn't know if it was fake or not. So talking about all the coaches leaving, and now Hart has left and went to SMU. So we don't know what really is going on or what is really true. I have to say it's kind of fun when it becomes media, just to see what all these stories can drop out and how many are totally fake. But,
it's kind of funny too, because I have people asking me left and right, is Trent leaving? Like I know personally, I do talk to him, but I'm not asking him about it. So, that's for him and his parents to decide what's best for him. So I just kind of leave it at that for each one of these kids. They got to do what's best for them. I mean, that's when it comes down to it, they got to do what's best for them. So.
Yeah, and of course, I'm sorry, not WTUK. That's what we're on. KSR actually said today that they think 25% that he may stay, 75% he leaves. And I thought, man, how in the world? We're 4 maybe days out from the season ending, and they already know where these people are going. I mean, they're throwing a percentage. It is speculation. I don't care what they say. It's speculation. They may have heard.
Yeah, nobody knows for sure.
Details going on, but that's all that you can say. Of course, like I said, Hart going to SMU. There's rumors now that Brandon Garrison may follow him to SMU down in Texas for a fresh start. So we'll see. I guess you could say we'll follow that and kind of see how that goes to see how true that may be. But again, there's going to be so many different speculations going on. Johnny says some idiot reported me. Oh, Johnny, you in that bad jail on Twitter? You got to stop sharing fake stuff. That's all I can say. Adam, who jumps in here, of course, we know that he does not like KSR that much, but was listening to KSR that plays a joke anymore. They cry about Elite 8 drought by 7 years, but refuses to put the blame for 5 to 7 years as well. Gerard coming on here, man. We ain't seen you in a while. Appreciate you jumping into our comments. Good evening, you guys. I'm disappointed and relieved at the same time for this year has ended because this season was unpredictable and inconsistent. I'm going to actually agree with you, and it's hard to actually say that because it has been up and down. I mean, we go from from the first game against Purdue. Of course, it was exhibition game. We blow them out. The number 1 team going into the season blew them out. I thought, man, this is going to be an absolute fun year. And then it's almost we survive games and win by a few, but if we're going to lose, we get blown out. And it's been really hard to buy in on what's going on with that because you don't understand because people blaming Pope. I even got an argument with a guy at work yesterday, one of my customers. He's like, are we going to fire Pope yet? I'm like, no, why would we fire him? And he called him an idiot and all this stuff. I said, can you explain to me how Pope is the fault in this and how dumb he is? And so we talked a little bit and debated on that. And I'm just like, man, the dude is smart. Like what he's forgotten is more than what we even know in basketball. Granted, yes, I agree. I think he gets stuck on the analytical part of it. And it hinders him a little bit on that because he gets the data from practice and whatever and shows how we perform at our peak times in rest or whatnot like that. And he goes by that with the subs, and everyone has been on the substitution this year. I agree. Some of them have been kind of weird at time substituting. We talked about one after I think it was an SEC game when Ortega was the only one scoring for us. He had like 6 straight points, and he went straight to the bench. You're just like, don't know why or what's going on with that. But we're not in the practices. Go ahead. I'll let you read that one. I got to get a drink.
Says, I remember one game, Trent, Marino, Yelly, Aberdeen, Chandler were on the floor. They were clicking, went up by 10. Pope put his starters back in. We went down by 12. I mean, that's kind of the tale of the year. It's like the inconsistencies with substitutions. Like, I don't know what it was. I think they baffled me. Like, I understand a lot of substitutions at the beginning of the year, trying to see who gels, who works together. But when you're at the end of SEC play and you are still subbing like that, where you do mass substitution, I mean, if you've got 5 starters, you want 3 of them in at the same time all the time. That's how you're going to rotate. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like he would do these mass substitutions, and it didn't work. I mean, I wanted it to work. Of course I did. But I don't know. It's
we're home on the couch, you know, we're in our rocking chair, recliner, whatever you want to say, watching the games, and we think we understand what's going on. Yes, we may be smart in some form or fashion of what we see, but we don't see how they play in practice, how they hustle. We don't understand their schemes on defense or offense, if it's clicking with some of them. We don't know. We want to speculate, but we really can't say why he's doing anything or judge it. Adam says go ahead. You're fast.
They want to blame Pope for everything Cal did, give a Cal a pass. Media's bad for it, ESPN, etc., on ignoring the 5 years plus of Cal's constant failures and empty promises. Now, I will say this. He brings that up. It brings up a good point. We actually started this downhill spiral, I feel like, where it kind of started around COVID. The year that we didn't go to the tournament, you know, we had a bad year up till the point where we didn't go to the tournament. But I just feel like it kind of all started then, and it's like we never could pick traction back up. Now, part of that's because of NIL. NIL's changed the landscape of college sports. You're not getting, just because your program is Kentucky, Kansas, North Carolina, you're not getting the big names. It's who's going to pay me the most, and that's what it's become. So it's interesting to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do want to go to Adam's point here, what he brings up, because he says at this point, Big Blue Nation would get mad at Pope for, of course, North Carolina is hiring a coach right now. If they were to hire Donovan or Oates, etc., I mean, geez, the man can't do anything. I'm really glad you kind of mentioned this, because a lot of people are saying Billy Donovan, and people are putting in there that what's up, Darian? Thanks for jumping in here with us. That they're saying if Donovan goes, North Carolina, even Calipari could go, and they're just like, you know, this would be really bad for Kentucky. Like, I'm going to say this. I don't know how Donovan.
That's a good way to put it right there. NIL took away team depth. I mean,
you're right, Mr. Uncle Tony there. I appreciate you jumping in here, man. Because, if you're on the bench, you're going to go elsewhere so you can get more minutes. Like, that's what we're talking about with all of our players. We already said about Garrison, what's going on with it. There's no faithful anymore. It's all about what I can get. And it is the new era. But let me go back to the Billy Donovan.
I understand that to an extent. I do. I understand that to an extent. You know, people, they want to get paid. You know, that is what it is a business. And people brought that up, and they're like, well, you can't, you know, you can say what you want about these kids because it's a business, but they're still kids and young men. Like, here's my thing. It's okay to be upset with the way people are playing. It's okay to be upset with the way the team's playing, but to personally bash people on Facebook, like, that's like junior high stuff to me. I don't know. Like, that's like a bully in junior high, just constantly picking on people. Like, a lot of times when these players mess up, they know they've messed up. They know they've had a bad game.
Their coaches have already been talking to them, you know, like, that's what kills me. You made a post talking about Johnson, not Jasper Johnson, but his uncle. I can't remember his first name to save my life. Do you remember what it is?
You talking about Jasper?
I want to say No, his uncle that made the post.
You're talking about the post I made. Hold on, I'll tell you.
Yes, I want to say Jakari Johnson, and I know that's not it. But
that
this
is
guy
not
played
right.
football. Yeah, I know. He played in the early 2000s. I'll let you answer that. But so you shared his post, and he's kind of talking about how he was really
Derek
hoping
Johnson.
to – Derek Johnson. He wanted to enjoy watching his nephew play at the team that he played for, at Kentucky where he grew up and all this stuff. And he said it was kind of taken away by the fans and how bad they talked about him. And we've had different comments. We've had some positive comments. We've had some negative comments on that, Jared. When you get in here, you know it's you. But
I don't know what just happened, but I didn't hear a word you just said.
Oh, okay. I was wondering why
Sound like you were a
robot.
There. I don't know if it's on my end, your end. I hope everybody else heard it. I mean, you can keep going. I was just letting you know. So if you don't hear me, there's some connection issue.
Okay. But they were talking about how us fans, Big Blue Nation, are really hurting the program. And I 100% agree with that statement that we are hurting the program. Yes, I think this season was a failure. I'll say it. 2 people hurt, 3 people hurt that are supposed to be in our stars. Just nothing really seemed like it clicked. Yes, this was a disappointing season, but I'm still going to be behind my players and my coaches because I love Kentucky. So I am a fan, and I'm not going to badmouth them on here where maybe there's Stokes watching how we interact with their players and badmouth them. Why would you want to come here to play? Because if you don't excel as what your expectations are, we're going to hate you. That's what's really going on, and it kills me. So
yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. You're either a zero or a hero. There's really no in between, like with some fans. Now, the sad part is this is probably 10% of our fan base that reacts like that. I think most people are behind your players, but the thing is those of us that are behind our players, we're not the ones getting on and bad mouthing people. You see what I'm saying? We're not the ones getting on and bashing people. So you don't hear us. It's that 10% that's the loudest. And it just
one bad apple.
They got to hear themselves, and it's a sad situation. See, what we're not even talking about here. Kansas now has a job opening. Bill Self is retiring. I don't know if you saw that today.
Oh no, I hadn't.
So now, does that give us more traction to get Stokes now? If Bill Self's going to retire, could we possibly pull Stokes over? And that's 2 blue blood vacancies in the coaching world right there. UNC and Kansas. And they're not going to just hire anybody.
Right.
So, I mean, are they going to go the route that Duke went and that, they hired John Shire, who played at Duke, and, Kentucky hired Mark Pope, who played at Kentucky? Are they going to go that route and maybe try to find a coach that way? Some people are saying they look for Coach Cal to go to one of the 2. I've heard Billy Donovan's name. I've heard Nate Oates' name. But here's the thing. All of those names were the same names that were brought up when we were looking for a coach too. So everything's hearsay at this point. And Adam brings up another point here when he's saying the media twists everything. They're going to twist it to make it sound like they want clicks. And, Derek Johnson talked about that in a lot of these fake media sites. They just want clicks. That's what it's about. And it's if they can get you on the page and get you hooked to read something for a second, it's making them money. So that's all they care about.
I was trying to read Michael's before I brought up here. Mike Coleman, of course, from Pike County says there's another radio show in Kentucky that brings quite a bit of negativity. I don't know what he's talking about. I'd say it's probably somebody that, is from close to where we're from that now doesn't live here. You can figure that out. But yeah, with that being said, on that, to that, I've been listening to the show a couple times while on a delivery, and some of the points is just, it's really just smart aleck comments that you're like, why even make those statements? There's no good. There's no criticism, like feedback to just destruct or construction with it. It's just, hey, this is how it is, blah, blah, blah. I'm just like, dude, that does no good except for tear us apart. It separates, if anything. I did say when it happened last year against JQ, if you remember, because he ran when Cal left, remember, and then got other comments on there. Let's see here. How can you pay a player $3 million knowing he's coming off a major knee surgery and hadn't been released to play yet? You know what? I'm going to say this on this. Everyone all year said, oh my goodness, this team is worth $22 million. I can't believe he can't put a team together for $22 million. Blah, blah, blah. This is a great expense. We were like the 5th highest paid team. We weren't even number 1. Where was all that at the beginning of the year when everyone was talking about this?
It's because of the name
Indiana.
across our chest, man. It's Kentucky.
Indiana
That's what it is.
Higher than us. And they didn't even make the playoff or the March Madness. They didn't even make NCAA tournament, and they spent more money than us.
We beat them.
Where's that conversation at? But no, we don't really care about that.
And that's the thing. His comment is dead on because we want to be back in the tournament. That's what we want.
We do.
We want to be, I guess you would say, relevant again right now because,
right.
You know, I hate to say it, but somebody was comparing us to the Cowboys and how the Cowboys were so good for all those years and just kind of fell off. And then they're saying that's kind of – but I'm going to be honest, man. You know, we are so hard as a fan base on UK. Look at the teams that Duke has put together. Now, granted, they're in the Sweet 16 this year. They didn't win a national championship when they had R.J. Barrett and Zion. They didn't win a national championship when they had Con Knipple and Cooper Flagg. So here's the thing, like, does their fan base act like this? I would say almost every fan base does have their negative nillies out there that are going to say crazy stuff on Facebook, you know, but like you guys have been commenting here, like to personally attack people, that's just stupid to me.
Oh,
and
100%.
And the thing is, you know, nobody brings up a good point right here. He said, how can we say this year's a disappointment when us winning an NCAA game and winning 2 SEC tournament games for the first time in 6 years, other than Pope's Sweet 16 last year? Yeah, it sucks, but it's better than usual. And, you know, I think that's where it's bad. Like, if that's what we're looking forward to, we're used to, you know, everybody got mad at Cal because he was like, you know, the SEC tournament doesn't matter. My gosh, he was coaching hard for Arkansas in that championship game. So it mattered to him now. That's why I believe the change was good for him and Kentucky. It just needed to be a change.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm not. I didn't hate him. You know, some people hate him. I still. I mean, it's kind of like Patino. I still kind of like him. He was a good coach here for many years.
Absolutely. I mean, Cal got us a championship. I mean, he put a lot of players through our system that went on to be great, still being great in the NBA. It's just. It kind of fizzled out, and the relationship needed a change.
And the reason a lot of people didn't like Cal, you know why they didn't like him, because he was about the name on the back and not the name on the front. That's how Cal's always been. He said it in interviews over and over, and that's why a lot of people didn't like Cal. As a person that works with young people, I respected that because he wants what's best for them. Yeah, right. Good things will come to the university through that, but I want what's best for my kid first. I was okay with that, but the problem was, it just quit working. Like the system he had wasn't working any longer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I even have heard stories now, since we're kind of in the media world, that what was also going wrong for Cal towards the end is he kind of started shutting people out of his practices as far as media, not really letting some things be developed as into a story to certain places. He was actually contacting his friends in the media and telling them, hey, this is what I want you to report. Make sure you say it this way because it helps for his recruiting. I was like, wow, that's a bit, you know, dictatorship or manipulative, if you will, instead of letting it be kind of natural. So I don't want the people's voices to go away in any form or fashion. I just think we need to be hesitant on how we badmouth their players. For one, these kids are 18 and 19-year-olds. Yes, they're millionaires, more richer than I am or will ever be. But also we got to get the 16 and 17-year-olds that are about to come up, or even the transfers that are looking for another place to go. We got to show that we actually care for our players. And I think that's going to come back and haunt us if it's not already. But I will say this too. One thing that I think us fans are missing, and it will never happen while this whole NIL transfer era is, we won't watch players actually develop. Like, we can't wait for development anymore. And this is as a whole. Obviously, we like to watch a player come in as a freshman, by their junior year be the lead guy for us and really see them blossom out. But for most of us, it's, hey, we lost 16 games this year. This is horrible. Restart. And you're just like, what coach would want to come here? We couldn't get Oates 2 years ago. We couldn't get Baylor's coach a couple years ago. We couldn't get UConn's coach to come to Kentucky. Why do you think Kentucky, who is the most winning team in college basketball, the second most NCAA championships in college basketball, the most Sweet 16 appearances, even though, ESPN thinks it's Duke or North Carolina. But why would these people not want to come and coach here? It's because of the way the fans act. If you don't win, we don't want you here. Granted, that's our goal. That's 100 and so many teams' goal is to win that championship. So we kind of need to buy back into playing and loving the name on the front. That he's done with freshmen, really, there's no point in wasting time on freshmen.
It makes me wonder, we've talked about this a little bit. He brings up Pitino. If he makes a run, let's say St. John's beats Duke, they go to the Elite Eight or the Final Four, you think he retires?
I heard a little bit of that. I don't know if it was my end or your end fading out there, but I just heard Final Four retires. Are you talking about Pitino?
I said if Pitino defeats Duke, St. John's beats Duke, and they make it to the Elite Eight or the Final Four, do you feel like he could possibly retire and then maybe pop up again in a role at another university?
Well, all I'm going to say is if Billy Donovan is stepping down from Chicago, he's of higher age too. I don't really see college teams wanting to restart with a coach that's on the bottom part of his career. Yes, Izzo's that guy.
I'm saying, do you think he comes back with Pope? That's what I'm asking, like GM. I'm not saying go take the – yeah.
I'm getting there. But if Pitino, I think he's 80, so he's up there too. We just got a person who stepped down, went to SMU. I think Coach Hart is his name. So we need a coach. Maybe Billy Donovan says, you know what? I'm into my part of the career where I just want to, go back out, riding the horse into the sunset. Let me go back to Kentucky because the GM all of a sudden is Pitino because he, like you said, he retires. And Donovan comes on that staff, and we have Pope. All three people have great ties with Kentucky. How awesome would that be? And would it be like a reunion? Like you would want that as an older person. Like, hey, I'm almost done with this. This would be great to just come back and enjoy myself and make Kentucky great again. No, I'm not trying to make that a slogan or a hat on a blue hat, make Kentucky great again. But I could see it actually happening. And if you guys remember who were on here last week's episode, I kind of mentioned that somebody had talked to me. Okay, Jared corrected me. I said 80. He's 73. So he's our dad's age. I exaggerated a tad bit, but still, like, he's got all the fire in the world still in him, but he's been wanting that Kentucky reconnection for a while. You can tell. And the fact that he gave NIL money to Kentucky when he's coaching St. John's, he misses the Bluegrass. So I really think that there's a chance that he becomes a Kentucky Wildcat this year or this offseason. I really do. I have no
inside knowledge. It's just a gut feeling. That's what you're saying.
I just have this gut feeling that Pope needs somebody to help him handle the Kentucky media and fans. Pitino don't care, and he's did it already. He's wanting Pope to do well. What better way to have your captain do well than to help guide him again? And Adam, of course, calling me out here with it's Camelot here. I thought you meant Cameron Mills. But, yeah, so who knows? Because, Billy Donovan played for Pitino at Providence, and then he was on the staff at Kentucky with Pitino. If Pitino goes back GM, hey, Mark Pope, man, Billy's looking for a place that he can retire at, and he doesn't want to be a head coach. He wants to come down here and just be under your guidance with this and help you lead to learn this big role at Kentucky. And he's also going to help you recruit because we just lost our West Coast recruiting person. And speaking of which, Hart was a recruiter, and we've not really been doing very well recruiting. So I don't know if this was a Pope conversation with Hart saying that, we're going to go a different direction. If you get an opportunity, take it. And he took it because, like Adam said earlier, they're going to make it spin like it's negative. But if we're missing recruiting and it could be his fault, then, yeah, we need that change. So, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff to really think about this offseason and what could go on. Let's see here. Is that Hart or JMI's fault? That's a never-ending question that we will never know the answer on that. But yes, JMI, I think, is part of it. But at the same time, if you want to play at Kentucky and win and still get paid, you're going to get the money that you deserve, and you're going to come and play. All right. Coleman says he's got a legitimate question, and it looks like a lot. We'll bring it up over here. I have a legit question that I really don't know the answer to, but everyone says that JMI is hurting us with recruiting and getting players. How is that? What are they doing that is hurting us?
We had a show that we kind of talked about this a little bit. It's really limiting the funds for the players from the way I gather it. They set up a contract and they give you a cap amount that you can make through NIL. Am I correct, Michael?
You're close. My interpretation of it was it's not capping what they can make, but it's saying, hey, if you make any money, we are making sure that our hands are in the pot too, and we're only going to let you have NIL deals that we deal with too. So like Mark Lawson signs with Kentucky Wildcats, you can't go out and get a teacher NIL because you're a teacher and you DJ and stuff. You can't go out and get your own NIL without JMI first saying, hey, this is a good deal for you, Mark Everett Lawson. We've already negotiated a contract. They're going to give you $20 million for this, but we're going to take $5 million of that first. And I think that's the hiccup of it, where people were like, okay, I can still make my money, but JMI is also going to have a hand in their pot too, and limit to who you can reach out to. I don't think it's a limit on what they can make, but
it's a different beast, man.
You guys got a bunch of comments coming on. I've missed some of these. I'm sorry. I thank you for your comments. But, yes, JMI needs to change. The contract is super bad. And, Mark, speaking of contracts, there's rumors that some – and, of course, I say rumors because we don't know. It's media right now. But there are rumors floating around that some donors, some boosters in the higher-ups, I don't know how much they're doing.
I know where you're going with this. They're not happy with Mitch Barnhart getting a different contract.
Yes, 970,000. They are actually asking to reevaluate how that is. And at first, when I read it, I thought it was saying they didn't want Barnhart to step down. I don't think it was that. I think it was more they didn't want him to step down and have a job almost making $1 million.
Yeah, it was that could cause a stir. It really could. I said, one thing that I do think is cool, and I know I even hate to bring it up. Did you see Darius Acuff, like a college player, just signed a shoe deal with Reebok?
And obviously he's going pro, but he's not even went pro yet.
Yeah, I found that interesting.
Mm-hmm. That is awesome for him, obviously. But yeah, in a college getting a shoe deal like it's crazy. Let's see here. Go ahead and bring it. I see you about to click on one. We need to quit paying these dudes and sit them on the bench all year and still fork over $2 million. I agree. There's got to be some kind of conversation going on with these contracts moving forward. Like, hey, we'll sign you for a 1 year, $2 million, but you have to play X amount of games. Because really, J-Lo, Williams, JQ, they took probably a lot of those $1 million of that $22 million and played. Well, JQ played 4 games. 4 games, whatever millions he made. Like, that's got to figure out a solution on that. Someone says, stop using JMI as an excuse. Stein is recruiting just fine under the umbrella, and even though they are 2 different sports, the principles of recruiting can't be that different. True. I would actually beg to differ. You would think that, Redhausen or whatever, because when you first look at it, that does make sense. But the reason why they are different, and I have to give credit to KSR on this, they talked about it. The difference in that is you have a set amount that everyone basically has, and I think it's like 17 million that everyone has. But the only thing is, when it comes to football, you're only focusing on like 4 or 5 different people that you're trying to get on your team, and then fill-ins with the rest. So there's so many different quarterbacks or teams out there looking for quarterbacks that you can go say, hey, they're giving one because they're trying to do more for wide receivers. They're offering too many. We can give you $5 million of our $17 million. Lock in at least your quarterback, and then try to use the rest to do fill-in. So it's the reason it's being different for Kentucky in football is you can focus on either quarterback, running back, wide receiver, or a defensive back and say the rest, okay, we're just going to deviate with what we can and put it together. So that's why it's going a little bit different. You don't hear linemen making that much money to come play at Kentucky. It's just they are focusing more of all their money on individual players in like skilled positions, if you will. Whew, man, that was feel long-winded. I'm curious how that $22 million was multi-year deals like Chandler and Garrison got. I agree with him. Apparently, there's rumors that it wasn't just 1 year of the $22 million. Apparently, there's been 2 or a multi-year deal contracts with those. You really don't know much of the details other than there are some that are multi-year. So we'll see how that pans out. You can't keep 2 of everything that are quality in basketball. We were praising that at the beginning of the year. People were calling it, it's like Noah's Ark. There's 2 of everything. But then all of a sudden, we're short at point guard, it says. So I don't know, man. I'm finding out that a lot of stuff are just excuses of what's going on because we wanted to platoon when Kentucky or with Calipari when he was there, and it didn't work out. Even Calipari said he'll never do that again. We had a bunch of players this year, could have platooned really, but then injuries, and it didn't work out as well. I honestly think, as crazy as it is, having so many good players on our team kind of was a hinder to us as well for development. Everyone's bad-mouthing Jasper Johnson right now because he wasn't the freshman that we thought we were going to get, but he didn't really get that many minutes to learn because of all the players having to get some minutes. So I don't know. Do you really want to have 10 deep moving forward, or at least 7 deep that's solid and then some role players? What do you think? Because I feel like I'm doing on talking.
Well, I was just sitting here thinking, like, you was talking about Jasper Johnson. I feel like he never was able to get in a flow. Like, he never had that opportunity. Right. I mean, I feel the same thing happened with Trent. A bunch of people were making a big deal because he hadn't hit a 3 since January. But he had been playing very, sparingly. Get in and maybe get 1 shot. Like, I've seen games where Chandler would come out and miss his first 3 or 4 shots, and then he would get on fire. It takes a minute to get acclimated to the game, man. And you got to get these kids, they got to get in a rhythm. And if they're constantly thinking, hey, I don't know if I mess up here, he's going to take me out. Because some people had that longer leash than others. And I mean, that's how it is in basketball. Some of your better players are going to have a longer leash. But I'm just saying, like, these players, I don't feel like we're given that fair chance to get into a rhythm. And I think you're judging them just by what you remember happened last rather than the whole body of work. People were just seeing, hey, a couple turnovers by Johnson when he came in and that plus minus that people were posting. I really feel like people dig for the negative because they know that's what sells. Anything they can do. So it's a double-edged sword when it comes to this because there's just so many different ways you can look at it. I like Jasper Johnson. I liked him when we interviewed him. He was a good kid. He can shoot the ball. We know he can play because he was playing at overtime elite. But you got to realize down there, he was the star. So he was used to being able to he had the longer leash. Now that he's a freshman, he doesn't have that long leash, and everybody's expecting him to go into the SEC and play the same way he did in overtime elite. It's just not going to happen. Very rarely do you see players do that. And like Kentucky, I saw an update that they had a 4-star point guard or somebody coming in to visit, possibly, and people were bashing that. Like, what are we doing as a fan base right there? Like, what? Stephen Curry, wasn't he like a 3-star? Stephen Curry?
You said Stephen Curry. I mean, he played at Davidson. So, he played at Davidson. So
he was like a 3-star.
Yeah.
Look at him now. Guys, those stars don't always matter. I always think in football, back to our big dog, the linebacker.
Josh Allen.
He was was he a 2-star? Yeah.
2-star.
And look at him now.
7 overall.
It's just, I get tired of people looking at the stars. But like I said, the thing is I really feel like Johnson can be a good player. I saw people bad-mouthing Yelovich. I saw spots where Yelovich looked really good, and I liked some of the things he did. Kind of like Jasper, they just need to bulk up a little bit. I mean, that's one of the things because it's a physical game now. You have to be physical. And Caden Lewis, that hurt us when he didn't come because he knew that he was kind of going to be playing that backup role, and I understand it. We actually were talking to his dad a little bit. You know, he was going to come on the show, and then when he decided to go, was it Providence? Is that where he went?
Villanova.
Villanova. So, yeah, he did have a good year. I agree 100%. And that, it's Mason Williams. That's that kid. I'm pretty sure that they were going to have in.
So I have a little bit of I'm going to say conspiracy because, you know me, and with words, we don't match really. But first of all, shout out to the YouTube guys. We've got over 29 right now live with us on YouTube. We appreciate that. While you guys are in there, if you don't care, hit that subscribe button because we do appreciate that, and it helps us out. Helps us get our content out and just helps us get the following up where we can possibly make some money with it. Let's just be honest. So
when y'all aren't trashing players, you're pushing JMI lies for Matt Jones. I have no clue what you're even talking about. We were just trying to explain JMI. I didn't know when did we trash players? I don't remember doing that, but
you got me. So I appreciate it, man. Comment more. Let us know what's going on here. But here's my thing with Jasper Johnson. He played at Elite, what we were talking about, overtime Elite. If you've ever watched one of those games, there's not super amount of fans there because, you know, it's really developmental. It's, you know, these players are away from home. It's kind of just local teams that they're playing in Atlanta. I think it was Orlando maybe even. And they are playing to develop themselves. Going to Kentucky to play in Rupp Arena after you've been playing like that and not having a crowd factor or any kind of the 20-some thousand people, I personally think because going from high school to college, it's going to be different. Of course it's going to be different. But high school and elite is even different, in my opinion. High school, you've got some crazy people there that's cheering. You know, you get some rowdy crowds. I mean, even Rupp Arena was wonderful for the state tournament. Overtime elite never had any of that, as far as those fans acting crazy like that. So I'm actually going to say that maybe he was a little bit shocked of the atmosphere, wasn't ready for that, because we know he's got the talent. We know the skills are there. And some of the people in here said that he was playing out of position. He was trying to run backup point guard. He is a scorer. He is a number 2. He could have been an Otega Oweish where, you know, put the ball on the floor and go and score or hit that 3, whatever. So I want him to stay and see him develop. I mean, the dude has ties to Kentucky.
I don't see it happening, though. I'm going to be 100% honest. After everything I've seen.
Especially after his uncle's comment.
And, like, the way he walked back to the locker room at the end of the game, I saw somebody post, that's a transfer walk if I've ever seen it. Like, it's just like he was ready to get out. And, like, you could tell the frustration in his post-game interview.
Yes. Absolutely.
Like I said, I can't blame him if he does. I get it. And I think part of that, man, when you're frustrated with yourself, it just makes everything that more amplified.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, Branson brought up a good point here. They got to find their identity as a team. This kind of sums everything up for me. I was watching the second half of that game with my wife. My wife wanted to watch it with me. And she watched basketball back when Jordan and then played. She was a Jordan fan. But I'm saying she don't know the game that well. Right. She looks at me and says, why do these guys look like they've never played together? She said they need to go on a trip or something and have some bonding. And I got so tickled because I said, April, that's what we talked about all year long. It's like they've just not gelled. Like in the first 8 minutes of the game, they looked like they'd played together all season and they were doing well. Yeah. But then they went back to hero ball and trying to do too much. I almost feel like they put so much pressure on themselves it screwed everything up.
Yeah. Well, and no shot at Otega because I think he's a great player and I think he cared about playing for Kentucky, but in the back of his mind, he was also thinking, hey, I've got to prove the NBA scouts that I've seen work on what they actually wanted me to work on and show that that's it. So I think sometimes we were there for the team, but we also had to think individual of what we're trying to show off, not in a bad way, but like show our skills on that. So we would play as a team, but I think sometimes we would forget we're a team. And even Yelovich kind of mentioned it.
I was glad he stepped up and said that. Like that,
I thought it was awesome.
I think part of Yelovich's deal is, you know, he was playing in Europe, so it's a different style ball, and then he comes to the SEC, it's a different style. So, he's just he's got a year under his belt now. I think he can be really good.
I really
Look
do.
at what Big Z's doing at Illinois right now. Like blocking people and then go on the other end, slamming it on them. I mean, it's just, I think he can be good. I really do.
I'll say this. I think Yelovich is actually our most fundamental skilled player that we had on the team as far as the front court. Marino would score, bumping hard and then just, off step, drop step, whatever you want to say, and score, which is great. The physicality, he was showing it. But I feel like Yelovich is more understanding his body and what's going on and how to be able to change with this and make baskets. I think if we tap into that a little bit more this next coming year, that I think Yelovich is going to be one of our good-looking stars. I'm just going to say that. Let's see here. I may not agree with blaming JMI. Main reason why recruiting is struggling now, but I can also agree that it may not be the best deal as well. Just wanted to clear that up from earlier. Oh, yeah. Yeah, JMI is definitely at fault, but it's not the main fault. We have to be clear. JMI is a hindrance, but it's not stopping people from coming here.
No, man, I mean, I think overall the team chemistry this year alone would probably make some people not want to come.
Absolutely.
So he says JMI has changed now. I'd have to read into how JMI has changed. I hope that it changed for the better. So I don't know. That's a side of it. I don't even like getting into all the contract stuff. I like focusing just on the players. That's just me. If I'm going to focus on that side of it, I need to get me a job with it and figure all that out. But I've not read up on it more than what we said. So I can't really say everything that JMI does. I'm just going by what I've read. So
right. And unfortunately, some of it's repeating. I mean, we can't lie. Christian Collins made it clear JMI. So. Yeah. I would love to see us have a much faster pace offense. I think we would have a lot of success really pushing break aggressively and slowing down that's a big word, setting screens and two dribble passing through the shot clock. Okay,
Did you just say haphazardly is a big word?
Sorry. But
Bless your heart.
I did. It caught me off guard, man. I wasn't ready for that. Haphazardly? Branson, like 5 letters or less for me, okay? But anyways, I think I would like to, and I know this is going Patino style, but I miss the full court press, put a man over the ball, throwing it in, trying to trap right off of that, get some easy baskets off of that, turn those turnovers into buckets, points. Honestly, I love the way Iowa State played defense. They were aggressive. If you had the ball, they were putting a lot of pressure on you, and it really made us panic and fall out there. Of course, Branson coming in and say that, he's a teacher. Sorry. Yeah, I am not. All right, let's see. Your next season needs to have a dual-sided offense, none of these left-sided offense, and one player-specific offense. Crazy work. Sign more than one point guard. I will say Pope, I think he rambles quite a bit, and I'm okay with that, really, because he's at least given us something. But when he said they spent offseason working on their offense from a left-handed point guard, I was like, this is not football. You don't have a blind side that switches sides because he's a left-handed point guard. I didn't really understand that. To me, it was a little bit of an excuse, but I know he's got to say something for us. Let's see here. Next season, Pope is going back to his offensive style like 2024. It's really been crazy because his first year we said, man, there's no defense, so he focused this year on defense. And now we're like, man, there's no offense. Pope, you got to figure this out, man.
But our defense got lost a lot too. Like we were doing simple things like going under screens and not talking when we'd switch and getting switched back to our – like we allowed ourselves to get in so many mismatches this year just because we weren't talking. It was ridiculous. And like, you can't do that like that. And I think that's, when, like I said, when even my wife can notice, hey, they're not playing well together, there's something not right.
There's something very not right if April can tell what's going on in basketball. Let's just be honest. No shot, April, if you're watching, but
she ain't watching. You ain't got to worry about it.
I agree. So I know all the comments going great, and this is obviously the topic we want to talk about, but I do want to say, let's see here. Let me bring this one up. He was going to say the same, or defense wasn't great either. Last week we filled out a bracket, NCAA bracket. I just like to at least address where we're at and see how well we did. If you don't care.
I don't even remember who I picked. I ain't even looked at mine.
We're doing okay, I think. To be honest with you, let's see here.
I mean, we picked a lot of those early round upsets. High Point beating Wisconsin. That made my heart happy.
I'm sorry, that's the women's. Let me go back.
Hey, we got to give props to the women, man. Going to be playing in that Sweet 16 coming up. I'm proud of them.
Yes.
The only bad thing I think they got to play Texas, right?
Texas, yeah. Who I think beat us earlier in the year, but.
Well, I mean, they're the 1 seed.
Yeah, for a reason. Let's see here. I guess this is the men's. I can't see on the screen. Yeah, here we go. All right, so we have 49 points out of 108 remaining. We are 34 million overall ranked, but we've got 67 upset points.
Michael, I'm gonna, the math guy in me is not going to let me tell. We are not ranked 34 million.
Oh, 342,000. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay. I was like,
yeah, my bad. My bad. So
how many of the Sweet 16 did we get?
We've got. Let's see here. We got Duke and St. John's. We're correct. Michigan.
You about didn't want me to pick St. John's right there.
No.
Yes, you were wanting to go Kansas. Yes, you were.
I wanted to go St. John's over Duke. Well, I had them in the Final Four. Let's see here. We missed Iowa. Who would have thought a number 9 would have beat a number 1? That has hardly ever happened. And not only that, oh no, that's because we got Florida going to the Final Four. That's our biggest hurt. But we did get Illinois and Houston.
I ain't gonna lie, that kind of made me happy too, though.
That we, oh yeah, I'm totally with
when
you.
When Florida got beat by Iowa.
Yeah. We totally missed the Kentucky and Tennessee matchup over here, or Virginia matchup.
Yeah.
And of course, we were a little bit of fanboys with Kentucky. I think we had them going to the Final Four, didn't we? Yeah. So, that one's shot for us. We got Michigan in there. Let's go up here. We got to Purdue. We didn't get Texas. We thought Gonzaga would win that. Arizona and Arkansas. So we've done pretty good. The only ones that we don't have in our Final Four is Kentucky, and we were a little bit fan in there. Let's just be honest. So we still have Illinois in it. We still got Duke. We still got Arizona. And, of course, we did pick Arizona, Duke in the championship with Arizona winning. So we'll kind of see how that plays on out. I think we've done pretty good.
Hey, you know what? Hats off to Texas for the run they put together, man.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. But it amazes me that there's a 9 this far in.
Listen, I'm a true fan, David. It's hard for me to root against my team. It just is. It always has been. Even when I know deep down in my heart, I had a gut feeling that Sunday wasn't going to go well. I just had that feeling. And when we started playing well, I made a post. I was like, hey, we've got to keep our feet on the gas. And as soon as I made that post, it fell apart. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, I got to stay off of Facebook.
So here's a look at the women's, because, we do want to talk about them because they are in the Sweet 16. I don't know if you watched the game, but I was at my son's baseball practice watching it on my phone. My goodness. There was I want to say there's 1.4 seconds left. We had the ball. We're about to inbounds it, and we're up by 1. Out of all the luck that we could have, West Virginia hustled, knocked the inbound pass, deflected it. It goes off of Tony's foot. They get the ball back. They use a full timeout, so they actually get it at their half court with 0.2 seconds left. They throw it in, have a good-looking angle for the shot, but mishandles the catch and can't really tip it in, so that's how we win. So it was rough. So I made a women's bracket, and in here so far we got UConn and North Carolina. I picked Notre Dame, but Ohio State is the number 3 in that one. So Vandy and Ohio State's going to be matching up here. South Carolina, Oklahoma. I actually have South Carolina winning it all in one of my brackets, but UConn is UConn. So we've got to set that straight.
David brought up a good point a minute ago. The last time we played Texas, we didn't have Key.
Oh, okay. That's a good point. I didn't know that.
So
Louisville, Michigan over here still, Kentucky and Texas. I mean, there's
LSU still in it?
I'll check. I'm not for sure. The only thing that really worries me about the Kentucky Texas the most is it's actually in Fort Worth, so it's going to be a home game for Texas.
What's up, Caleb?
Even though it's final. Let's get up here. LSU, yes, LSU's still in it. They play Duke. I've got LSU beating Duke, but we'll see how it goes. But in my Final Four, I got UConn, South Carolina, UCLA, and Texas. Yes, I went with the 4 number ones. It's just kind of how it's going to go when it comes to women's basketball. There's not too many upsets. But I hope there's one right here in this bracket on 3 more days. Of course, Mark, we got the media link to where we could apply for those, but don't think we're going to Texas anytime soon. So.
I mean, I would love it. I got spring break coming up next week, so I'm kind of excited about that. But it's a little bit of a trip.
Just a tad bit. A round trip is anywhere from $500 to $800 via plane. And I just don't have that laying around. But what could help us earn some of that money where we could fly out is everyone would go over here to WTUK's Facebook page and like on there and give us a comment with that. And also go subscribe to our YouTube channel where we have currently 26 people right now watching. And 90% of you all do not follow us or subscribe to us on YouTube. So we definitely need you all to hit that subscribe and turn on that notification bell. We'd appreciate that.
We trying to grow just a little bit. We appreciate 105.1 WTUK for letting us come on and do the show live. And, our goal in the end is that, have this like a full blown show, just like if I'm calling a game, we go to commercial break or different things like that. So we're looking to get things rolling here. We want to be able to do this right. Still have our guests on when we can from time to time. This is the time of year. It's kind of hard to get a lot of people on. I know Cameron said he's going to come back on with us soon now that the season's wrapped up. So
that's why he didn't join us today. He's got COVID, so he's recovering.
Well, I hate that he's got COVID. We'll be praying for him.
He said he was feeling okay. He was just he was diagnosed. I don't know. Tested
well, now my daughter's been sick, but she tested negative for everything, so I don't know.
Caleb says he thinks Polk will knock it out this time around with recruits. Also, please go subscribe to Cats Chat. Thank you, Johnny, on the YouTube page. Let's see here. My kid plays Little League. Yes, been trying to sponsor and donate to that place for years. Bad previous. Okay, well, sorry about that, Adam. But, man, if you ever want to let us know how you would like to donate anything.
Well, he can just sponsor and donate to us. Forget Little League.
Yeah, or you could sponsor us. We'd love that too as well.
Step up to the big league. I'm just kidding.
I'm just kidding. Forget Little League.
No, I will always say sponsor those youngins. That's what I'm always going to say. But here's the thing. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know who all's leaving. We don't know where it's going to go. We appreciate you subscribing to the YouTube page. But we really do. And I'm glad that you came by us this evening by chance. If you've stuck around this long, we appreciate you hanging in here and talking. This is what we like to do. We just like to talk about things, and we have guests on. That way you guys can ask them questions too. But, we don't know the trajectory. We don't know what's going to happen. It doesn't look good right now. It looks like we're going to lose several people, right? It does look that way. But if Stokes pops up and says, I'm coming to UK,
that changes everything.
I think it really does. It really changes how the fan base views everything. Would that even change maybe who says they're coming back? Because that may have somebody else leaving. So we got to wait. I hate it as much as I hate waiting. I want every one of them right now to tell me who's going to stay. I want every one of them right now to tell me who's leaving. I want to know. But until that portal opens up, we don't know.
Here's a comment, and I mean, I'm not going to say you're wrong at all, but it says, I was disappointed in the players that seem to take their NIL money and not give much, if any, attempt to earn it. I saw a whole lot of, struggling here, a whole lack of effort from this team. There was definitely time I could have smacked Brandon Garrison around the game that he turned it over and jogged back for defense, but I was so glad that Pope pulled him so fast. So, yeah, there's definitely times that this team
and what kills me about that, you saw what he could do in that first round of the NCAA tournament when he played.
Yes.
A lot of people were saying Dink Paint's going to SMU now. Yeah, I could see that.
We need this. What was that?
He was buddies with Hart. Sorry. I clicked something.
Dude, we need this podcast to be in the 606 for Kentucky. Absolutely.
I mean, hopefully Boogie Cousins would like us. I hope that. That's all I'm going to say.
Hey, I did reach out to him and his agent. I haven't heard back. Listen, I don't care to reach out to anybody. You know that. But
I did tell you this randomly the other day. Khalil Whitney accepted my friend request on Facebook. I must have sent it to him back when we interviewed him. I don't know, but he accepted it the other day.
Well, good. That's cool. Yeah, he already accepted mine a long time ago, but that's okay.
Yeah. We got a lot of opportunities. We did lose our top scorer. And I really think, like, I know people are upset with Jaden Quaintance, but man, I can't blame the kid for he's got such a high ceiling with the chance to go early. So I don't know.
Follows him to SMU.
Well, now if they get Brandon Garrison, Stokes,
Donald.
and Dink Pate, that could be crazy.
I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. If Stokes goes to SMU over Kentucky and Kansas, like, there's a problem there. I don't think that's really going to happen. I could be wrong, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Is Stokes not a Darren Peterson 2.0? Yeah, pretty much. And I wonder how he will manage that type of player. Because we have seen the rumors of things, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting.
Let's see. Are all 4 stars rated at 95 or less?
Man, like I said, I don't care about stars. I want people that are going to give me heart. That's what I want.
And even with his point there, we didn't recruit those at 4 stars. We recruited them after they actually proved who they are at the college level. So that's why I think, man, sophomores, juniors, and seniors is the new era of who you go for. It's just they make a lot more money by doing that because they get the NIL transfer basically guarantees, if you will. Excuse me. Guys, we are over an hour. We could talk this all day long, and I would love it. Let's see here. I think Mo Williams will come to Kentucky. That'd be kind of neat, kind of cool.
Yeah.
Oh, we're hitting him here.
I hope we get Rondo's son when he's old enough.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't know if you saw that young man. He's a baller at 8th grade.
8th grade. I actually seen where someone was trying to debate, and I'm not calling anyone out, but apparently there's rumor that he's the best Kentucky player at 8th grade level that Kentucky's ever had, was what the statement was made. And somebody was bashing it, saying, he's good, but nobody will ever compare it to Travis Perry when he was an 8th grader and all this stuff. He scored so many extra points and all this stuff. I'm like, I'm just going to be honest, like, Rondo is not just a scorer. Like, he was averaging 8 assists a game or whatnot. So, like, you can't say because he was
a general.
Yes, so it's completely different. And it kills me how us fans want to take one stat line and try to say who's better or worse. LeBron James is not the greatest ever because he scored the most points. He's just been in the league for 25 years. Jimmy, we appreciate you coming in here at least, man. If hopefully you noticed, WTUK, we're streaming live with them. And also our YouTube page is killing it at the moment, still 35, running strong. Again, guys, please go subscribe and hit likes on these Facebook pages as well. It helps us get our algorithm going and see what we can do on that. I try to say.
And as always, a special thank you to Golden Flame Hot Wings up in Lexington on a Roger Drive. Go check them out. Best wings I've ever had in my life. Maybe going to Lexington this weekend at some point. I'm hoping I might get to stop by there. So,
okay, I'm jealous. Will you bring home some garlic parmesan for me?
No, I'd eat them before I got home.
No fair. Not fair.
But yeah, we appreciate them.
Is that the player whose dad is a coach at where it is? JMU?
Might be.
JMU, if that's J. Madison University, no, because actually the coach there actually went to Ellsworth College with me. It's Preston. So if that's the same college, then no. Okay, what I was saying, we are over an hour, and we're going to try to keep it at an hour as we always try to, especially if we were to push some of these things, opportunities we may have going on. We've got to definitely watch our time a little bit better on what we're doing here. Garlic Parmesan is the GOAT, absolutely. He don't like chicken.
I love it, Michael. Thank you. Jimmy with it, too. Make sure they're boneless. Yeah, but if they're boneless, I'm going to eat them in the car because that's why we want boneless, so we don't get our hands dirty. So,
you know what? That was rude. First of all,
I don't want to get my hands dirty.
And number two, Dirty Queen has garlic parm now for their chicken strips, and it tastes pretty good. So
I agree with Dougie here. It is the portal is going to be absolutely madness this year. I really do. I see it. I think there's going to be a lot of big names in the portal, and it's going to be who's going to pay the most to get somebody. And that's kind of what the name of the game is now. So it's a wait and see. I'm excited. Can't wait to see what's going to happen. And what we need all you guys to do too, go over to the 105.1 WTUK page. Make sure you get on there and say, hey, let's have this show back every Wednesday. Michael Coleman said he's a boneless eater too, but he's still calling you out, so that makes him my friend. So, yeah, go on over to the page. Tell me you want the show on every Wednesday. We'll try to start doing it. That's what we're hoping for. That's what we want to do. So we appreciate each and every one of you guys for tuning in, and it's been fun.
Yeah, if you don't care, go to the WTUK and just put "We loved this show." I think that'd help too. That way they get enough comments to know that you guys are watching. The only thing I don't like is you guys on YouTube, which we appreciate you guys, but it's not going to show WTUK exactly who all are watching the shows. But surely to goodness they'll see all these comments that's going on, and I think that'll help our partnership, if you want to call it that, go as well. So please go to the Facebook page for WTUK Wild Country and at least put a comment on this live show, or even afterwards when it's not live, and put a comment that you really enjoyed or can't wait to see us next Wednesday as well.
And the baseball season kicking off. If you want to listen to some baseball tomorrow evening, I'll be calling a baseball game tomorrow evening on 105.1 WTUK. So,
where at? Is it at the Harlan County High School? You said Harlan City.
Harlan City, yeah. It's the All Lake championship to go to the region.
I got you. Oh, what time's that game?
I'm guessing it starts at 6. If I was a betting man.
Okay. You got anybody with you?
Sean told me to be there about 5:15. We'll talk about this stuff later. We got to sign off, brother.
Because I was going to say I could try this out and see how it goes. But anyways, I don't know about recruiting the G League like Alabama because the dude didn't make it. But okay. Guys, we thank you so much for tuning in. As always, go hit the subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, and give us a thumbs up. But we will go ahead and be signing off for this episode yet again. Mark, where can everyone find you at?
You can find me on Instagram and X at DJ Mark Lawson. You can find me on Facebook at Mark Lawson. And, you can find me – well, now you're going to be able to find me at a baseball field pretty much here and there. So where can they find you, Mike?
MD Lawson 00 on all social media platforms. Also check out our TikTok page. We've been having quite a few follows here lately from our Know the Wildcat, which we need to get back and do. MD Lawson 00 on all social media platforms. And of course, the most important is go to youtube.com at Cats Chat Pod and follow us on Facebook, as most of y'all are watching. Guys, we said a lot of stuff tonight. We rambled about a lot of stuff. We kind of went in a tornado on hitting some things back and forth with the comments going and covering.
But it was fun.
But it was a blast. Find me right here on my big rear at home. Okay. But the most important thing that we're going to say on this episode is this last thing here. No matter what you may have heard, I hope you hear and listen to this. The most important things that you can live your life by are 3 simple rules. Number 1, love God. Number 2, love others. And number 3, love UK sports.
God bless.